Okay, so sadly, we're on to the very last sleep token track in this Harmony of Hearts for Zach. Zach, this has been an unbelievable series. Like I told you, this is kind of like now spurred on a thought of a marathon, which I would like to do quite soon. And I'd really like to dig deeper into the sleep token, right? We've been sleeping on them for a little bit too long. But now we're moving on to another song called Euclid. For those of you who are only joining us now, I suggest you go back to, right, I dropped them in half an hour increments, so just go back an hour and start from Ascensionism, then go into Bloodsport, and then go into Euclid, right? This is, again, another one that we haven't done. We've only done 2 sleep token reactions a while ago, and now we've just finished another 2, which you guys can go back and watch, and now we're on to the 3rd because it forms part of this package. So yeah, for those of you who want to also watch additional content, you guys can go into the description, click on those links over there, go to the Fable sphere, you can watch additional content there. And then also, if you want to request another Harmony of Hearts, you can, but unfortunately my capacity, I've reached capacity, and so has Alex, and Wolf and Magnify still have a lot of booking slots available. They are absolutely fantastic. I know that Magnify has done quite a bit of sleep token as well, but they do rock, they do rap, they do whatever else, and they break down lyrics really, really well, which we've got a good team over here, man. So yeah, you can go down and you can go to the website, you can go to thefablesphere.com and go to the Harmony of Hearts and see if you'd like to book with them. Unfortunately, me and Alex can no longer take any more. All of your Harmony of Hearts will be done. I know the calendar is not up because we've had some issues with glitching issues with the calendar, but if you've booked a Harmony of Hearts, it will be done by the 29th. Harmony of Hearts is a February campaign, and they will all be done in February, as you guys know. Anyway, sleep token, Euclid, let's get straight into this, man. Let's rock and roll, man, because I have been enjoying these, man. Let's go.
Just run it back, give me 5 whole minutes. I am Victor on the inside burning. I've got a ghost in the hallway grinning, and a heavy head that won't stop turning. If my fate is a bad collision.
The way they write, I apologize for pausing right off the bat over there, but it's just like the way they write with that heavy tar, right, in the thing. So it's basically, it represents the darkness. He just feels dark inside, and that actually, if you just think about that as an emotion, describing that as heavy tar is very, very good, because when you feel like your love is sort of falling apart with the person you love most, that heaviness, that weight, right, is equivalent to someone dying, essentially. So that kind of weight can actually feel like there's either lead in your heart, or in this case, tar, that's holding you down, right? Very, very cool. But he also says, but my head keeps turning, essentially. So he keeps looking for a way out. He keeps looking for something better, but he can't find it. But if you connect that to the tar, which is basically he's on this journey, he's got a heavy tar inside of him. So inside, he's trying to find himself, right? He's journeying on. His head is consistently turning. He's looking for the next road, the next off-ramp that can ease his soul and ease his thing. Very, very clever writing. It's so subtle, but the connections are very clever. Anyway, let's carry on. Sorry, you see how that tar, head keeps turning, collision, all to do with the road, the journey, and things like that, but then also playing that as a metaphor for love. It's very clever. It's very, very smart. Let's go.
My mind is an open highway. Give me the twilight two-way vision. Give me one last ride on a sunset skylake. Me when you get the chance, I can feel the walls around me closing in.
Very clever in terms of the way he actually distorted that somewhat. It's almost like he's in a phone. It's almost like he's driving. He doesn't know where he's going. So he's on this highway. He's on this highway of pain, right? And then he phones. She's not answering. Call me when you get the chance, right? And that the way he plays with that distortion is basically to tell you that I'm about to do something stupid. I kind of feel like my life over here is fleeting, and it's fleeting fast. Like I don't really know. It just plays into the confusion and the pain, right? And I like the fact that they do that with their sound effects and things like that, because it really adds to the story. It emphasizes certain points in the story. But anyway, carry on.
Just running forward alive like wires as I see the paths on an empty ceiling. Play along with the life signs anyway, but oh to God, you don't know this feeling.
Very clever once again. So I see I see, what did he say? I see the life on an empty ceiling, and then he talks about the live wires essentially. So this over here is in danger, but now if there are live wires exposed, right, on the actual ceiling, it means there's nothing connected to that. There's nothing that is shining any light. It literally is what he's trying to explain or express over there is that he's actually stuck in this darkness, right? There's no light fitting over there. There's nothing that he can switch on that will provide any sort of light, right? And he looks at this bare ceiling, and if he dares to go try and fix that, he'll actually get a shock because the live wires are exposed essentially, and that's how he feels about the actual relationship. So it's just metaphor on metaphor on metaphor over here.
Just running forward alive like wires as I see the paths on an empty ceiling. I play along with the life signs anyway, but oh to God, you don't know this feeling. Yet it reverses.
You see the connection points, and I apologize, I'm pausing a lot, right? But do you see the connection points with the way he's doing these things? He's playing into God. He's playing into live wires. He's playing into, what did he say over here? I play along with the life signs, right? So it's almost like he's being given a sign, but he knows there's a risk element to it, which ties into the live wires, which ties into you are able to get shocked, which ties into an empty room and darkness, right? So it's very clever where he paints this picture so cleverly, right? And if you dare to think about it, it actually becomes very vivid. You start creating the picture for yourself. It's very, very smart writing. Very smart writing.
Life signs anyway, but oh to God, you don't know this feeling. Yet in reverse, you were all my symmetry. A parallel I would lay.
So on reverse, you know my symmetry. That I can see. That's why the song is actually called Euclid over here. I think Euclid's got something to do with geometry. And I think that's what he's talking about in terms of the symmetry plays into like that Euclid. I think it's something to do with Euclid. It's some fuck. It's either the Euclid properties or whatever. Now you're taking me back to fucking high school now. Anyway, I've got to look at that. I just think it's got something to do with geometry. That's where that symmetry comes in over here, is literally talking about lines that connect at a certain point or something like that. Let's go.
A parallel I would lay my life on. So if your wings won't find you heaven, I will bring it down like an ancient bygone.
I'll bring it down like an ancient bygone, which now ties into the ancient sort of structure, or the ancient teachings of geometry, right? So Euclid was from ancient times. I think that's what he's connecting it to. I'm not entirely sure, but it's very clever. Every line that goes on, it's almost like he's telling two stories. Essentially, these stories are literally running parallel to each other, and one's a love story and the other one is the metaphor for that love story, which I think is fucking clever with the way they write. The pen game's just on point.
By God, call me when you have the time. I just need to leave this part of me behind. Do you remember me? When the rain gathers, and do you still believe that nothing else matters?
I like that he's talking about, do you remember me, right, when the rain gathers? Because obviously he's talking about the past over here, and the past was tragic, the past was difficult, right? The past was very stormy, essentially, right? But you can't move forward if you don't know how to take elements from your past and correct them in order for this to get better. You have to look behind. A Winston Churchill quote that said, the further back you look, the further forward you can structure yourself, essentially. So the further back you look into your past, the further forward you'll be able to see into your future, because you're taking the learnings from your past and you're passing them on to your future, and you're correcting those mistakes as you go along, essentially. So it's almost like he's trying to find a fix over here. He's trying to find something that he can find some level of connection, where he's trying to say, okay, this is where we came from. This is the stormy, this is the dark days that we came from, right? Do you still remember me? Is there something there that can literally spark something back in this relationship, so that we can clear the clouds, essentially? That's at least my interpretation of it for now. But anyway, carry on.
It's still the autumn leaves.
Nice, playing it into
These ancient canopies.
oh, these autumn leaves, these ancient canopies. Come on, bro. Autumn leaf. So if you actually think about, the top of the leaf is actually a triangle, playing back into Euclid, talking about geometry, talking about ancient canopies, which the canopy is literally a triangle, right? When you put a canopy over something, right? Almost like a tent. Very fucking clever. Also, the way he plays into the seasons in terms of autumn is literally the passing of time. So over here, he's also giving you an insight into the motions of the relationship over there, where it's like they've gone through winter. They've gone through summer. Right? It was something beautiful. Now they're going into autumn, which feels like everything is dying. And then there's going to be winter that follows that, which is just going to be cold and desolate. Do you know what I mean? Very, very, very clever. Very clever. And playing that back into the geometry and how the geometry is breaking up and there's no longer this symmetry is very, very clever. Very clever.
We used to lay beneath.
Clever.
No, no. The night belongs to you. This power's broken.
Wow! That hook is fucking fire. That hook is fire. It's such a powerful hook over here, man. Instrumentation, everything's absolutely beautiful. And the way they've just played everything into the story, the way the story actually sort of breaks apart is so clever, and the way it connects is so clever. The metaphors used is so clever. The name of the song is clever. Everything just, it's so brilliantly, brilliantly written. This is a good pen game. This is art. I didn't even see that. Very clever. Give me the, what did he say over here? Very, very smart in terms of what he says. Give me twilight and two-way vision, right? Which I think is very, very clever. So it's like I can see in front of me and behind me, right? But give me twilight. Give me a new day. Give me a new day. And with that new day, give me the tools to be able to see what was wrong that preceded us and what was wrong, what will be post us. It's almost like I can, at least if I can see what's behind me, I can forecast for the future, right? So I can see two ways, essentially. It's very, very clever. Let's go. If our wings don't find you, heaven, I will bring it down like an ancient bygone, which is crazy how he's flipped the heaven part over here now, essentially, because in the last one, in the Bloodsport one, it's almost like he perceived her to be heaven, and his redemption was when he ascended to her, which actually had a pretty clear sort of thread through Ascensionism into Bloodsport. Now over here, he's kind of flipped that a little bit, where it's almost like she's lost her position. She's lost her position as the angel. She's lost her heavenly appeal, and now it's like, if you've lost your wings, I'll bring the heaven down to you, essentially. So it's always this back and forth of her losing her way, him losing his way, him. So it's almost over here, he's playing into the fact that it's actually a two-way street. And he feels like they're sometimes in the opposite lanes, going one way and going the other way. And that's why he wants that two-way vision, so he can actually at least see, because they're often not sort of connecting. They're not fluid, essentially. So it really is a very up and down thing. Well, she'll find heaven at times and he'll find heaven at times. And when she loses, but at least there's this loyalty, there's this obsession, which keeps them connected, right? And they'll do anything for each other. That's the overlying sense you get of the song. But anyway, carry on. Beautiful fucking song. I like the element of the intertwined over there. I always love it when love is being expressed in that way, in terms of like two people or two souls, or the physical and the real and the spiritual being sort of intertwined, because it actually plays back into an Einstein theory, where it was towards the end of his career. He says the deeper he looked into the complexities of the universe, the more he started to believe that God and science are intertwined, religion and science are intertwined. There's something there, that there's a lot there that cannot be explained scientifically, and therefore he says that those two things are intertwined, essentially. Now that, if you actually translate that into human connection, human emotion, and human love, it feels like that intertwine over there has got not only a physical but a spiritual element to it. That's why we always sort of like think that, if we have these hedonistic, empty, shallow relationships, these one-night stands with people, you think, well, it's fine, I don't need to have that emotional connection. It's actually eroding of the soul. It's eroding of who you are, and it's just, that's where the anxiety comes in. That's where the feeling of like you're worthless, essentially, like comes in. It's because we've lost that spiritual connection to each other, essentially, that it can't just be physical. We're not just bags of flesh and blood, that we need to just acquiesce to all of our temptations and things like that. Like that, actually, there needs to be an element of restraint, right? Restraint adds a lot, right? And then to find the deeper connection being the intertwined factor of this, right, is the spiritual and the physical together, right? So anyway, sorry for that long diatribe, but I just had a thought over there. Let's go. You will not be mine. So give me the night. Sick. Absolutely sick. Wow, we definitely need to run a marathon in this fucking shit. Sorry guys, I really do apologize that I paused a lot over there. Usually with these kind of songs, I tend to do that a lot because I'm really always super intrigued by artists that can write music like this, that have the deeper meanings. And that's why I absolutely love 21 Pilots. It's just very cryptic, very layered. It's brilliant stuff. It's brilliant stuff. Like I said, I feel a Sleep Token marathon coming. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for the long videos. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.